means that in the worst weather, people have got to start all over again, walking to wherever the shops are, with their kids in their pushchairs, never taking a bus, however they're feeling. It's got to be a walk, and then it's got to be a trudge back to accommodation with a heavy load of shopping. And the more kids you are, the heavier the load is. The heavier the load is.
Yeah.
And that it's a very bad time of year to think of trialling the scheme, and it's a very heartless time of year to think of trialling the scheme.
Do you not also think there's an issue about Big Brother?
I absolutely do not believe where he says that this will be less stigmatization.
Yeah.
Now, I hadn't thought of that immediately when we heard about it first, but the one person who had been a refugee himself, we first were told about it, the first thing he said was, right, we're back to stigmatization.
Yeah.
Because anyone can have a Tesco gift card, but only asylum seekers in this position will have the Azure card. So how can it be that that isn't stigmatizing? So the thing that I took massive exception to as well here is this bit at the end. And to be honest, this is the bottom line with me, as I've told you before. It says, it works towards the return of those who have no protection needs and who have no right to be. Now that is political speak. Who have no protection needs. I know that in legal terms it means that their case means that they don't have need protection in the form of persecution, of being persecuted.
Yeah.
But what it can be interpreted is, we therefore wash our hands and we have no obligation to protect them at all.
One of the central tenets of my article is to try and create an education in the minds of people who read it.
Yeah.
To go, look, this is what an asylum seeker is, this is what a refugee is, this is what an immigrant is.
Yeah.
This is some of the stories from a very human level about what these people go through.
Yeah.
It's not a problem, because we've got to stop using the word problem.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And this is a situation, and they're going through these things, and no human should go through these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not asylum seekers. They're humans, and they are going through.
This is a word we have created.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the issue around that word. These words.
It didn't exist before very recent years. I'm not sure when was the first use of it, but it's probably traceable. But in most other countries, the word refugee is good enough.
Yeah.
Here, asylum is a word that's always managed to get itself into ugly waters.
Yeah.
And it creates a feeling of unease, the word asylum, because it's been traditionally associated with mental hospitals and danger and with segregation.
Yes. So the last thing I wanted to ask you was just what you think you would say to someone, or what you say to people who, if you were trying to meet them for the first time and they came at you with a negative opinion about asylum seekers.
I don't think I would start by that. I think I would start by saying that I was critical of the government.
Yeah.
And then, because whether you're voting Labour, Conservative, or whatever, you have a right to be critical of the government and to state your case. And then I would say that I was amazed that the party that I support had still not come to terms with the fact that there were some people here who were literally destitute and homeless under their system, but others who were being treated in a way that unnecessarily caused them difficulty and stigmatization.
Yeah.
And there were not enough positive messages being sent out from the government to educate people to the realities of the situation.
Yeah.
And then when people started to ask me, for example, to what I meant by all this, I would tell them.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think when the questions of well, what are they like, I start to tell them what the people that I've met were like, and you know, the good relationships that I've had, and the good relationships I've seen other people having as well, and the kind of atmosphere of being with somebody, and you know, generally the respect that one has, the way that they're coping.
Yeah.
Actually vote for the party who's in government at the moment, it actually strengthens the case. But on the positive side, on this whole thing of engaging people who were never engaged, I have been astonished by the turnaround in our church after Sister Ruth came and spoke to them about vouchers, and they set up the voucher exchange. We've got like 3 churches who are all linked. And she, first of all, explained the voucher system to people. She explained that the JRS had put something in place, which was a system by which it could easily be exchanged for cash.
Yeah.
She explained that it was win-win, and that it would be a way of giving some help to people who needed it in a very simple, straightforward way.
Yeah.
Once she'd done that, and people started to think about it, the nonsense of the whole thing started to strike them, and they thought, well, why on earth not?
Yeah.
What's wrong with cash? You know, what actually is wrong with it? The response was enormous. We've had £1,100 a month going in from the 3 churches for voucher exchange.
Wow.
Yes, it is wow. I mean, I was in favour of it, but boy, it really amazed me. Basically, identified a rubbish system. They identified a way in which there could be a simple alleviation of a difficulty, and they engaged with it. And by engaging with it, they then became supporters rather than you know, standing back, or they were committed by that simple exchange. Even if they never met anyone face to face or shook their hand, they became engaged. They became engaged in a positive process, and it grew. So that was a way in the host community
Changing people's minds.
Yes. When they heard that the system was going to be changed, again, to my amazement, I was phoned straight away by a friend who's involved in the church side of the exchange, and she said people are really indignant. And the way that Joan, my friend upstairs, put it is, and you know, she's not a church person, but she's an ardent member of the Labour Party and highly critical of it. She said, they're taking away from us the small bit of good we felt we could do.
Yeah. Okay. And then just the last point is to create balance on the issues, because of some of the good work, you know, that does come out from the government, and the fact that they do manage to make some success of their system, how they can then take that success and build on it and show what a good job they are doing, and sort of iron out the problems and the gaps in the system that I'm doing this article on, and which you know are in the room upstairs.
It leaves the government standing on is, as you rightly say, the will of the people.
Yeah.
And I think they have this huge opportunity to show the difference now between themselves and, you know, parties that have not got a belief in human rights. I think they have a huge opportunity to show that they're not the BNP, and you know that they're and that they should take it, because it's such a small thing, people would absorb it, and it would be over. They should bite on this bullet and show what they really believe in.